What makes Endless Rain musically endless? The notes are leaping. It's almost as if the bottom G represents the ground. And because it remains unresolved, almost feels like a metaphor for life itself. In this fleeting moment, the protagonist is reunited with his or her lost loved one in a dream. Hi, I'm CUTT, a Japanese musician. Thank you so much for all the comments on my last video. They really encouraged me. Today, I'd like to analyze X-Japan's iconic song, Endless Rain. Of course, these are just my interpretations, but I hope you'll enjoy hearing a perspective like this. I'll break my analysis down into three main sections. 1. The concept of height. How melodic leaps express the ground, the sky, and the rain falling from above. 2. The unresolved motif. Why Endless Rain feels musically endless. 3. Key changes between reality and dreams. The artful connection between music and lyrics. So, let's get started. When we listen to the beginning of the vocal melody, we notice that it starts with a leap from G to E. This movement is a significant interval and it's known as a melodic leap. La 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 la. See, the notes are leaping, not la 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 la. Now compare this to Yoshiki-san's previous works where melodies tend to move smoothly from one note to the next in a stepwise progression, meaning each note moves to an adjacent note in the scale. For example, in the previous single, Kurenai, you can hear the beautiful stepwise movement. It's great for creating a sense of continuity and coherence, allowing the melody to feel both natural and emotionally expressive. And from what I've researched, if I'm not mistaken, up until Endless Rain, the largest leap interval in Yoshiki-san's songs was a perfect fourth. But here, Endless Rain's vocal melody starts with a leap of a major 6. That's a big jump right from the start, so I thought there must be some significance to it. As the melody progresses, the bottom note G remains fixed, while the melody leaps to the top notes E, D, and C, descending. It's almost as if the bottom G represents the ground where the protagonist is standing and the rain is gently falling from the sky in descending movement. With this, our minds unconsciously form the concept of height, two separated worlds, the ground and the sky. And then, during the next pass, the repeated motif is unexpectedly broken by a large octave leap from A to a higher A. It feels like an explosion of emotion, or as if the protagonist is desperately trying to reach the sky. After that, the following sequence of stepwise melodies seem to offer comfort to the protagonist who can't reach the sky, sounding like a melancholy resignation. When the chorus arrives, the stage that was previously set between G and E is elevated higher. Now the bottom note is E and the top melody revolves around higher C, which is a minor 6 above E. Here too, the ground note E remains fixed, while she oscillates as if representing the protagonist's wish. It feels like a desire for something just out of reach. I believe this concept of height, two separated worlds, is a key element in expressing the song's theme. In classical music theory, there is a fundamental relationship between the tonic, the central note of a key, and the leading tone, which is a half step below it. In the key of C major, for example, the tonic is C and the leading tone is B. The leading tone creates tension or instability, while the tonic represents stability and resolution. This relationship is at the heart of musical resolution, where the leading tone resolves to the tonic, providing a sense of release and closure. like this. In the chorus of Endless Rain, we can see a resolution from the leading tone B to the tonic C. This resolution occurs 3 times within a single motif. However, despite this recurrence, the motif doesn't end on the tonic, but rather on the leading tone, like. If the next measure were to start on the tonic, it would resolve like. But instead, the melody returns to the note E, which is the starting point of the motif. It seems to express the scene as if the melody, or the protagonist's wish, resolves in the sky again and again, yet ultimately it never truly resolves. So all you can do is to try it endlessly. The lyrics of this song are adorned with abstract phrases like whispers of ice and gray walls, avoiding direct statements. But I believe the protagonist has lost a loved one. The one who is gone will never return. The past cannot be reversed. The repeated resolutions in the motifs sound as if the protagonist is trying to accept this reality over and over. However, in the end, they cannot fully come to terms with it. This is why the motif doesn't conclude on the stable tonic, but rather on the unstable leading tone. And because it remains unresolved, the motif feels as if it continues endlessly. In a way, this endless unresolved motif almost feels like a metaphor for life itself. Or am I going too far? Some of you might be thinking, wait, but there is one moment in the song where the melody actually resolves. And you'd be absolutely right. In one instance, the recurring melody, which usually ends on the leading tone, does indeed resolve to the tonic at the beginning of the next measure. This happens after the second chorus, right before the guitar solo, like all of the sadness I wait for my dream. Since the new lyrical phrase starts there, and it's also the first note of the following melody, it isn't a complete resolution in the most exact way, but however, at that particular moment, the chorus melody does indeed find a brief resolution. But by this point, the song key has already changed. The song has modulated. The tonic that seemed to have resolved is no longer the tonic in the new key. It has now taken on the role of the 6th scale degree. This moment is deeply beautiful and at the same time painful, because just when you think resolution has finally arrived, the world shifts and everything changes. And from there, it bridges into a dreamlike and breathtakingly beautiful guitar solo, which I think represents dream. It sounds as if the protagonist is retrieving and reliving the past, when the loved one was still alive. The melody is filled with peace and a gentle warmth. In this fleeting moment, the protagonist is reunited with his or her lost loved one in a dream. Maybe wants to stay there forever. But of course, that time must eventually come to an end, leading into the solo's beautiful conclusion. The key of the guitar solo is in E flat major, so the G chord should be G minor in that key. However, instead of that, the final chord of the section is G major, where the third note of the chord is raised by a half step to a natural B, creating a leading tone to the expected C minor. This subtle shift gives the progression a slightly unsettling quality, but rather than merely creating tension, the new leading tone in the chord is raised another half step, transitioning smoothly via a suspended fourth resolution, forming a beautifully fluid modulation. It's as if the protagonist is gently, gradually awakening from a dream. And then the next lyric begins. The dream is over. Isn't that just perfect? The way the melody, lyrics, chord progression, and narrative all come together so seamlessly is pure genius. This, to me, is what makes a masterpiece a masterpiece. Actually, Endless Rain is a song that made me fall in love with X. The most impressive thing for me is that when I first heard it, the lyric, which means led the floating love dance instantly created a vivid image in my mind. Despite being abstract words, the melody and sound made it feel incredibly real. In that moment, I literally saw love floating and dancing in my heart, as if rose petals were rising gently from the ground and softly drifting down. That sensation was unlike anything I had ever experienced. For a long time, I couldn't figure out why this happened, but after analyzing this song this time, I think I finally understand. The concept of height plays a major role, which helped me to imagine the vertical movement. I also believe the rhythm of the melody contributes significantly. The phrase follows a rhythmic pattern where a 4/8 note repeat, but the last eighth note is divided into two 16th notes, like do 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 do. For me, this rhythm has an almost multi-top delay effect, creating a kind of slow motion feel. Ba, 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 ba. So that's why floating love drifting became so vividly visualized in my mind, I think. And if the melody were without 16th notes, like Maiagalu, ayu otolasete, it would feel too flat and the love would never leave the ground. And for example, if it were like this, Maiagalu, ayu otolasete, it would feel too light, lacking seriousness, almost as if love were soaring too high and escaping. But the melody and rhythm of Endless Rain strike the perfect balance, imprinting the lyrics into my heart. Today, I shared my analysis and interpretation of Endless Rain. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video in the series, I plan to analyze another ex-Japan song, Tears. While today we discussed resolution through the leading tone and tonic, in the upcoming video, I'll explore how Tears blends these elements, diving into one of the most crucial aspects of music for humanity, the pentatonic scale. I look forward to your comments. Please let me know any topics you'd like me to cover or share your thoughts on today's video. Also, if you haven't watched it yet, check out my previous video where I talk about X's early days in the Japanese music scene. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you again soon.